Hello everyone, welcome to Sunday Night Live. I hope you had a great weekend. Tonight my guest is Maya Gabeira, a big wave surfer who is also a UNESCO ambassador. She has this program with UNESCO and Prada to protect the ocean, which is quite natural for her. Hi Maya, I see you're here. Let me send you an invite. Oh, I see you send me one. Welcome everyone. Feel free to send your questions for Maya in comments and we'll try. I hope you had a great weekend. It was very relaxing after Couture Week. Such a nice, relaxing weekend. Hi, Maya. Welcome.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
No, I see it's okay. It seems okay.
Are we in good connection or poor connection?
The connection is not ideal. Can you? How should we do that? No, it seems to be working now.
Now for me it's working well.
Yeah, I can see you well. Perfect. Where are you now?
Vigo, Spain.
No, it's not. Do you want to log off and join again? Should we try?
Yes, I'll join again. Pega Wi-Fi.
Okay. So in the meantime, feel free to send me your questions for Maya. I hope her connection will be better. If you can send the questions in English or in French, I don't speak Portuguese, unfortunately. Hi, Tiziana. I think she's back. No, not yet. So Maya is going to join us again. Hopefully her connection will be better. I was saying that we met at UNESCO very recently because Maya has a program with UNESCO and Prada to protect the ocean. It's for ocean literacy, so it's to educate children about the ocean. And she was so inspiring. Tell Maya we love her at Nagoya. Okay, I will, Tiziana. Comment s'appelle l'invitée? Maya Gabeira. She's Brazilian. She's a big wave surfer, a big champion. I think she's a world. She'll tell us. I think she has many world records. She's here. I'm Indian, please. And I didn't know that Maya was a. Oh, welcome back, Maya.
Is it better?
It's much better.
Okay.
What did you do? It's perfect.
Okay, so maybe we're gonna make it happen. Sunday Live.
Exactly. So you're in Portugal, is that correct?
I'm in Spain right now, actually. But I live in Portugal.
And you live in Nazaré, am I right?
Yes, I live in Nazaré, exactly.
Is it true that it's where there are the highest waves in the world, Nazaré?
Yes, Nazaré has the tallest waves in the world. I think probably the last 5 world records were established there in big wave surfing.
Oh, wow. When did you move there?
I moved there. I first surfed it in 2013, and then I moved in 2015, and been living there since.
And before that, you were living in Brazil?
I was between California and Hawaii.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did
you the sea or?
What's that?
Did you grow up on the sea in Brazil?
I grew up in Rio de Janeiro. That's where I took up my first surf lessons. And then I started dreaming about traveling and seeing the world and surfing, perfect waves and all of that. And so my first destination was when I was 15, I went to Australia. And then I went back home after studying in Australia and I just wanted to leave really bad. And then Hawaii was a possibility and I started begging my parents. And as soon as I finished high school at 17, I left Brazil and then I went to Hawaii first.
Oh, wow. So super young.
Yes.
How did you get your first surf lessons?
I just went into a surf school in Rio and in Apodo Beach and got surf lessons because I was 13 and all the boys in my school, and actually the boy I was dating at the time, he was a surfer and I really wanted to surf, but they wouldn't take time to teach me. So I had to just go out and find myself a surf school, and now I can take them surfing.
And you're much better than these guys, your boyfriends of the time, right?
I think so. I'm the only one that turned pro, so maybe. But
Probably.
we all actually very passionate. They're still so passionate about the sport. I still see them like traveling the world, like in
Oh,
good
really
ways and all. So it was a very rooted, loving surfing community.
great. And I read that your mother was a fashion, or she is a fashion designer.
Yeah, she was a fashion designer. Now she has, you know, tons of different projects. She works mostly with environmental conscious fashion, and does she kind of overlooks some programs at the Yed Fashion School in Rio from Italy, and yeah, just has a brand with me now called Blue Eye, which is an organic sunscreen
Oh,
brand that we launched recently in Brazil. Still small, but the product is amazing, and it carries a lot of our beliefs in the ocean. We use sustainable sea kelp, forested by women in north of eastern Brazil. So there's a lot of good stuff there. There's no plastic in the brand at all. So we're trying to have a brand that survives despite all the pressure, you know, of the system. A brand that survives going kind of against the tide, really, of growth and profit over everything, and you know, plastic usage and yeah, tracing all the traceability of all the different things that we use in the sunscreen and things like that. It's they make it very complicated for you to be conscious these days and to be good to the planet.
I hadn't realized it was your own brand. I saw on your
Yeah.
Instagram the brand, but I thought it was you were an ambassador for the brand, but no, you created it.
Yeah, I'm crazy. Yeah, I created my own brand.
Wow. And you also, I can't believe the number of projects you've had. You wrote a book for children called Maya and the Beast.
Yes, I already wrote another one's coming out in March, Maya and the Sea. And the third one called Beyond the Board coming out March too for young adults.
Is it about
And I have
story? What is it about?
Maya and the Sea is actually a sequel to Maya and the Beast, which is for 4 to 8 years old, which was a little bit of a tale about my own story with surfing. And Maya and the Sea will be the tale of Maya in the ocean and everything she learned and the encounters with marine life and the things that she loves and she sees that are changing. And it's more a conservation message, but also has a lot of personal touches because a lot of the encounters and the experiences are real. I just reshape to like fit the audience, but a lot of those things are true stories that were very very important in my life.
Is it linked to the program that you do with UNESCO?
It's we have the outer letter will be shared between, you know, me, Oceana, which I'm on the board of directors, which is the biggest NGO solely focused on ocean conservation, and UNESCO. So we'll all share the outer's letter and try to send people the right direction and to some good information platforms and programs. So.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah, I was very inspired when I saw you at UNESCO. It was really, yeah, very impressive what you do with Prada and Unesco.
Oh, thank you. That's actually, I mean, I don't have much credit on that work, to be honest. I just back up Francesca, who's the big boss for us and ocean literacy. She's the head of the program in UNESCO, and her office is amazing. Her team is amazing. It's been growing so much in the past, you know, 3 years that I've been kind of exchanging with them. And you know, when that opportunity with Prada came up and to announce it and to, you know, announce the growth of the program, which I already followed and wanted to be a part, obviously with the next book being more about marine conservation and everything, and the kindergarten lagoon project coming in. So we were all connecting, you know, the dots, and it's wonderful to see. I already knew that Prada was very involved, so it's good to make it public also, and raise more awareness of how much, you know, a company like that can actually give back to things like, you know, the ocean conservation, and also bringing in the Prada Island collection, which is actually one, like, I love it very much because the material is like forever, and it's actually, you know, recyclable, and it's collected material from the ocean, you know, so it's already reused material. It's already a transformation. When you get the product, that material was, you know, trash and has been redone for you to use, and it lasts forever. It's super practical. So I always loved the concept of the Island itself. So when I saw that they were the ones partnering with the project that I'm passionate about, which is, you know, the ocean literacy, Francesca's group, and, you know, children books, and all of that, I just yeah, I just felt like that was a real fit, and I think everyone felt that. So that's why we kind of united to give the announcement of the 1% of revenues going all towards this one project.
Of the revenue generated by the Island collection.
Island collection, 1% of the revenue of the Island collection from Prada will be going to CD On, which is a platform that's welcoming more NGOs, not just UNESCO, and welcoming more brands. You know, it looks like Panerai is coming in too. So it's a place where we hope more companies and more people will start engaging on ocean literacy, and hopefully, you know, that will be in the curriculum, which is the goal for, you know, indefinite in the near future.
And for you, it makes so much sense because you experience it firsthand. I mean, on a daily basis. Do you surf on a daily basis?
I try to be in the ocean as much as I can. I do a lot of different ocean sports. So I do wind sports, I do kite surfing, foiling, wing foiling, tow surfing, paddle surfing. So it keeps me busy. Sometimes I don't go to the ocean because then I have other things to do. But most of the time I do go a little crazy if I like don't go and do an ocean sports for, you know, a week. That's like, I don't feel good. So I have to like, okay, no more like bike training or, you know, cities. I gotta go back to the ocean.
Okay, so a week is your maximum out of the ocean.
A week is, yeah, I don't want to go more than a week. I mean, unless I'm injured and I have to, I wouldn't want to choose to be more than a week away from the ocean.
And actually, I watched, preparing for our conversation, I watched videos of you, and I hadn't realized, because I've never surfed, and I hadn't realized that for big wave surfing, you have a jet ski, a tow, have a tow partner. And I was super interested in your relationship with the tow partner. Can you tell us a little bit about that? It feels like a very great relationship.
Yeah, it's worse than a marriage. I've never been married myself, but I can expect it's worse than a marriage because, you know, you have to have the same goals. You have to be training. We're not really structured in a team or anything. So we don't have a coach that's like on top of us. We're not being demanded. We have our own sponsors, our own projects. So when we come together, it has to be a lot of, you know, our own self-motivation to train together and to be connected so we can outperform other teams on the big days. And I was for around 6 years with a German partner who, Sebastian Steudner, who actually has the male record right now. And he helped me get my 2 world records. I was on his team when he got his world record. And then last year we were like, okay, let's take a break. It was very intense for 6 years. And I started surfing with a French boy, Pierre Rollet. Well, he's not a boy, he's a man. He has 2 kids. And Pierre is just a great guy, very easygoing, very different from Sebastian, a completely different approach. And, you know, Sebastian was very German, pragmatic, professional, protocols, you know, safety. And Pierre comes more with like that relaxed surf vibe. So it's a bit different. But yeah, we still, I'm sure if it gets really, really gigantic and it's a world record day, I might still knock on Seb's door and be like, should we make a big team and just everyone watches for everyone and everyone collaborates? Because that's what we need.
It's always the same tour partner usually, right?
Well, kind of. You have one or two that you train with. You don't want to get stuck with one because often, we might get injured. I mean, I was out for most of last season with a spine injury, and Sebastian, my co-partner, the German, was out the whole other season and the one before, or like half of it. So if you get stuck with just one guy, oftentimes, they might get injured for the season. They might be out for, the right important time. So you got to be able to perform with other people too. So that's why we try to keep a rotation. Is very important.
So is that with Sebastian that you had this near-death experience?
No, that was with Carlos Burli and my Brazilian Red Bull team back in the day. Lack of experience, early days in Nazaré, everything was very new to us, different equipments, different jet skis, completely different safety protocol. And it was a very bad accident that took many, many years to recover. And of course, I had to exchange the whole team and the whole protocol and everything that I knew and kind of start from not zero because, I had years of career already, but in Nazaré, I definitely started from zero.
I know you were asked many times about this experience, but can you tell us what you remember about this experience? Because it's basically like you experienced dying.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was a scary experience, overall. I mean, for 10 minutes to be debating whether you're gonna die, be saved, you say bye to your family, you have flashbacks, it all happens. It's kind of all true. And then it was more like understanding of what was going on with my body and the physicality that was, turning my body off and shutting myself down. And that comes from the knowledge that I have from free diving, from blackouts, from lack of oxygen kind of things. And so I knew I was going to black out. I knew that I was probably going to be in the ocean because we were still far safe, and Carlos was not doing a good job on picking me up. He was definitely inexperienced or unprepared, and so he was just kind of lucky that he jumped on top of my top, and he with the friend of with our lifeguard, Nuno actually started resuscitating me, and Nuno was able to actually turn me to the side, and that's when I started vomiting and I came back. But overall, it was a very traumatic experience, heavily publicized. So I still, if you go into the Google,
and you're breaking a bit.
That was the biggest media moment of my career, which is strange in a way, because I have 2 world records. I created competition. My second world record was won as the biggest wave ridden in that year by any male, which has never occurred in our sport. So to have that accident being the publicized moment of my career is leaves me with a certain question of what kind of society we're in. Especially what kind of society we were in, when it all happened, 2013. Still of the space that a woman should have in society, and a dangerous sport, and in the ocean overall. So
I'm sorry, you're freezing a little bit. I couldn't hear very well. I don't know if
you are too for me.
Oh, I am?
Yeah, but now you're good again.
Okay, let's try. That's so annoying, this technology. But let's try. And what's so inspiring is that everyone told you that you wouldn't be able to surf again. And well, the next thing is that you broke new records.
Yeah, after 4 years debating gonna walk properly again because of my spine injuries and spine surgeries. Took me 4 years to get back and to even think about having the courage next level again. And it was very hard, but it happened in 2018. So it was, yeah, 4 years after the accident. It was a long time.
Yeah. And how do you train your mind? Because now you go back to these big waves. How do you train your mind before going? Do you have some tips about managing anxiety? We all experience anxiety, but for you, going to these big waves, it's so dangerous, etc. What do you do to prepare for it mentally?
Well, I think being prepared is one of the most important things, feeling like you have done everything in your power to be prepared for when things go wrong. That's something that I've always taken very seriously in my job. I know what can go wrong, and which is, mostly accidents and the possibility of a drowning. So I try to be very aware of, my physical abilities, my partners, how we slept, how the radios are working, the jet skis, the team is connected. So I'm much more aware these days of right and feeling right, and that boosts my confidence. So I have to be more aware, and I don't push as much as I used to. I used to often, oh, that lax, this is not so good, this is okay, but let's try, let's go.
Yeah.
The accident, I became much more selective and scared, and but wise also, because then you choose and you choose, and that makes it, a bit more safe, which is not a safe sport at all, but it gives you an advantage of experience and having, a good eye for when it's time to take that big risk and when it's time to sit back and collaborate. A big learning for me, and I think that was definitely a huge part of my success later in 2018 and 2020.
You mean taking the risk very seriously and being very aware of the risk that has led you to this success, to be more.
I think yes. I think taking it. I think preparing, moving to Nazareth, being there, every day of the winter, creating a real connection with the place, with the wave, with my equipment, with my partner, with my team. It all helped my confidence, because that, like you said, I mean, it was a huge step to take, to go back to the place that you almost died and want to do it again. Have 4 years of thinking on it, and getting setbacks and trying getting setbacks. So it tricks your mind. It makes you believe that maybe that is not for you, that maybe you should give up, that maybe it's time to move on. Had those feelings, and I often doubted myself, which I think is natural. The thing that never happened was I never stopped working. I never stopped wanting to try, stopped being curious about how to feel, better, and I never stopped, loving Nazareth, which I think, and you gotta love that place to feel connected and feel like you want to take those risks, because it's very, very risky, it's very dangerous, but too.
Yeah.
So it's a decision you gotta make every time when it's really big.
You must really enjoy this thrill. Is that for the thrill of it?
It's a thrill. It's the beauty too. It's the power. Things I get to see. It's the things I get to experience. It's those like glimpses, of early morning, just giant waves, cold air, water in your face, and this wild environment, and you're kind of, fitting in and getting your feet wet and feeling the comfort zone. You're trying to get there. It's a whole, experience. I mean, it's a really long day, and you see a lot of things, and you feel a lot of things, and excitement, and there's danger, and there's variables, and it's everything really ruled by Mother Nature. You kind of just do your best to go with it, because she's the boss.
She's the boss.
She's the boss.
Is there an age for retirement when you're a surfer, when you're a big wave surfer?
I think, the thing with big wave surfing is that we start getting a lot back from experience. So the older we get quite an advantage just by experience, but then we get, less, we get more injuries, we're more tired of traveling, carrying equipment, taking risks, we're more scared. But you can go for, I think, 50, 55 would be pretty reasonable to be on top, I think, at your 50s. But I think 40s is pretty good. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. I don't think that's
I to watch, fortunately it's not out yet, but there's a documentary about you that premiered in Toronto called Maya and the Waves. When does it come out? I can't wait to watch it.
I know, me too. I can't wait to see it out there. I'm not sure yet. It looks like another delay, 24.
Okay.
It might hit platforms on the 24th, so 2024. We'll see.
Well, you have a lot of projects in the meantime.
Yes, I keep myself busy. I like it.
For sure. And I really enjoyed also our conversation when we were at UNESCO, what you said about the values of athletes and the fact that you have all the values like resilience, discipline, you have performance, competitiveness, because there are competitions in big wave surfing, right? It's not only you against you, there are competitions.
Yeah. We're very competitive. Although I think ultimately, no point to compete with others if you don't, compete with yourself all the time. And I think most athletes end up competing with themselves a lot, especially when you get to the top. I mean, that's like where you be very willing to dig, to prove all the time. So you got to be like, your competition and your will to improve has to really come from inside, because if you an outside push, that's not what's going to make the difference. The difference is usually that person that doesn't even need a competition, a competitor. It's the person that's just so self-motivated.
Yeah.
Better and better, and that's how you get to the top. That satisfaction of you improving in your own capacity.
Well, so many takeaways I got from this conversation. I loved what you said about managing anxiety. Well, you manage anxiety thanks to preparation, being super prepared. That's your way of coping. I guess
Sorry,
it's
I
not.
didn't get that one. It broke.
I'm breaking. That's annoying. Sorry. I was saying the key takeaways from this conversation for me. You said anxiety, you manage it thanks to preparation. That's your way to cope with anxiety before surfing this big wave. And the second one is competing with yourself.
Yeah,
it's breaking. Sorry.
Self-improvement. Yeah, I think self-improvement. I mean, trying to always willing to look at yourself and see what you can do better. I think there's always room for. That's for me the key. I always look myself and see. Get inspiration from others, of course, but I try to raise the bar and not necessarily have somebody to be guided by. I can just dream and set my own, bars really high, and if I achieve it, great. If I don't, I'll keep trying. And that's how I go, that's how I got to where I got. And about anxiety, that's how I deal with my surfing anxiety. But my anxiety appears in a lot of other ways in my life too, and that's different.
How you manage
Real
in your life.
anxiety, and that one you have to deal with. Yeah. I have the anxiety of big waves, and then I have the normal human
The normal
anxiety.
anxiety, like all of us.
Like all of us, exactly. That one is really hard.
Yeah. Do you have a mantra for this one? The ones that everyone has? Something
Yeah,
that you do to
I meditate. I listen to meditation courses, Chopra, Deepak, every like meditation song exercises. That really helps in the end of every training session. Walking in nature with my dogs. I walk probably an hour a day with my dogs. That really helps me too. And it's very green, very beautiful. So that's kind of an escape. And I'm lucky, I'm part of the lucky ones. I live in the country, and I live by the ocean. And I mean, what better way to try and treat and heal anxiety?
yeah.
Right, being connected with animals, with nature, and being in yeah, mellow environment. I think that's kind of what saves me and keeps me sane, because yeah, I do have a serious anxiety disorder, and public appearances and traveling can be super complicated at that particular time or that month, and what's happening in my life, and the way I deal with it. Literally, I mean, I have a psychiatrist, and I take care of my head, and I take medicine, and I do what I have to do. But calming songs and breathing and being with my dogs and being in nature, I haven't still found a better medicine than that.
Wow. Thank you so much. That was very inspiring. And I know you can't be away from the ocean for too long, but I hope we'll see you in Paris soon.
Yes, I love Paris. I am sure I'll be there soon.
I hope so. I hope to see you at the shows.
That would be an experience, right? That would be very different one day.
Very different from big wave surfing, for sure. Fashion surfing.
But there is quite an adrenaline there, because I know the show behind the scenes is like adrenaline bomb for everyone that's working on it.
Exactly. That's what's in common, the adrenaline, I guess. Well, thank you again.
Yeah, they're under pressure.
It was lovely having you. And I hope to see you soon, and keep us posted on the documentary.
Thank you. I will. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Everyone.
Have a nice evening. Ciao.